you hear me now? All right, great. Let's start that over then. I'm Ryan Zuma. I'm the Chief of Police for the Lynchburg Police Department. It's my honor and pleasure to welcome everyone here today for our swearing-in ceremony. I want to thank you for joining us. This is really a very special occasion. As many of you know, family members and friends that are in the audience. We are streaming this event live on our Facebook page, so if you want to go back afterwards and watch that, I'm sure a lot of family members that may not be able to be here can either take advantage of it live now or later on. At this time, we will have our new officers join us. So this event is a little bit different than normal. For those of you who've had the opportunity to attend one of our swearing-in or promotional ceremonies in the past, you know we normally do those at City Hall. Due to some COVID restrictions and trying to make sure we can get people, as many in, we're doing it here. So bear with us as we work through some of the logistics here. If it looks like we don't know what's going on, this is our first time at this venue, but we do appreciate you being here. Our attendance is also a lot lower than it normally is, honestly, and we've restricted attendance to immediate family members and staff and some of our invitees, as well as some local media. We think it's important, obviously, for our community to see this, so we're going to make sure our media covers that and the streaming as well. So for all of you that are here, I've received countless emails, phone calls, text messages from city officials, community leaders that say they would love to be here, that would normally attend to recognize all your hard work in this great moment, but obviously COVID is changing literally everything we do in the world. So we do appreciate those of you who are able to be here, and just want you guys to know that a lot of folks are thinking about you even if they're not here with you right now. So I'm a very proud member of the Lynchburg Police Department. We've been a part of this community for over 215 years as a department. And over those more than 2 centuries, thousands of men and women of the LPD have dedicated themselves to making this community a great place to live, work, and play. We are grateful for their service. None of us would be here if it weren't for people like these men and women who came before us and spent time pouring into us and mentoring us. I'm confident that these 11 officers that are in front of me today, young men and women, will help continue our legacy for many years to come. To our new officers, you're about to officially join us and become a part of the LPD family. And you know we talk a lot about family, and you'll hear more about that later. You're entering in a profession at a time unlike anything we have ever seen before. Although there are monumental challenges ahead of us, you have the unique opportunity to create a better, more connected police department than ever before. Each one of you holds the key to our collective success as a law enforcement agency. Don't forget that. Your ability to partner with and protect every individual in our community, regardless of race, gender, or socioeconomic status, is more critical now than ever before. Always remember to treat everyone you meet in a manner that shows respect, professionalism, and is how you would want your loved ones treated. Never forget that you are the chosen few that get the honor of wearing this badge. Don't ever take that lightly. Your actions will either honor the men and women that came before you or bring discredit to their sacrifice. You've already proven you can overcome significant challenges during your time at the academy. This class is the longest tenured academy class we've ever had. Some of them are ready for retirement almost. But really, they've had some challenging times, as you can imagine, and our academy staff does an incredible job of keeping these folks safe and healthy, considering all the things they had to do and go through in the middle of a pandemic. So you guys have shown you can deal with adversity, no question about that. Use that success to propel you forward, knowing that your LPD family will always be here to support you, good times and in bad. At this time, I'm going to ask Deputy Chief Ken Edwards to come forward for a few words and for our salute to the flag.
Thank you, Chief. Good afternoon. This morning we met with the officers you see here before you, and I'm just going to take a moment to address the family and friends and significant others out here this afternoon. This is an impressive group of men and women. Like the Chief said, they have already met several challenges, an extended academy session, an unexpected pandemic that we've been dealing with, and a week of social unrest, that they were there right along with us doing whatever they could to help out. And just impressed with this group. Thank you for your support of them through the academy, and I just ask that you continue to support, pray, and love them as they start out with their career. So I would now just ask if you're able to stand to face the flag and join me in the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You can be seated.
So if you look at your program, it shows our chaplain, Jennifer Williams, doing our invocation. Unfortunately, we got a call from her a little while ago. She was not feeling real well, and with everything that was going on, we said it would probably be best for her to stay home right now. So we do have a chaplain, Jim Whitaker, who's with us. He is a long time supporter of our police department and our community here. He's a former mayor of Lynchburg, former city council member for many years, and just an all-around great guy. So at this time, I'd like Chaplain Whitaker to come forward for our invocation.
Well, good afternoon. I had the honor of meeting these men and women earlier today, and it was quite an honor to be in your presence. And I echo what the chief has already said about you, and I'll have some further remarks at the benediction. But let's ask the Lord's blessings over our proceedings here today. Father, we come to you today. We acknowledge you and we thank you for your love and your watchful care and your protection for each one of us. This is a day of celebration. It's a day that you have made, and it's a very special day for these men and women as they have successfully gone through the academy. They've done everything that's required to become a certified police officer. So, first of all, I pray over them and that this would be a day that they remember, and would remember it with excitement. Thank you for them and for their lives. For the rest of us that are here, family and friends and others, thank you, Father, for blessing each one of us. And I pray that we all work together to make Lynchburg the best community possible to live in the state of Virginia. Where there might be strife, I pray for peace. And Lord, that you would give wisdom to our command staff as they go about their responsibilities to lead this organization to be a premier organization in our state. So I ask your blessings over the proceedings, that it might bring honor and glory to you. In your precious name, amen.
Thank you, Chaplain Whitaker. This time I'd ask Captain Daniel Meehan to come forward and recognize some of the department staff that are here.
Good afternoon and welcome. I'm, like most people, I'm not a big fan of public speaking, but if I can take that thing off right there, I'll stand up here all day. So, without further ado, I will introduce the rest of the folks that are up here on the stage. So behind me, we have the Honorable F. Patrick Yates, Chief Judge, Lynchburg Circuit Court. Just wave or shake a hand or something as I introduce you. Deputy Chief Mark L. Jameson, Investigations Bureau. Captains Timothy Clements and Daniel Black, the Field Operations Bureau. Let's see, retired Captain Eugene C. Wingfield, retired from LPD. Jennifer is now here, and you just prayed with Chaplain Jim Whitaker. He's on my list. Thank you for praying with us. And last but not least, the folks that actually made this all possible to hire these young folks. The Personnel and Recruiting Unit, that's led by Lieutenant Matt Gillespie in the back, Sergeant Brian Smith, and PO3 Alan Cottrell. Thank you all.
That is quite an undertaking. The men and women that run our personnel recruiting unit over the years. In today's day and age especially, recruiting in law enforcement, as you can imagine, is challenging to say the least. And to be able to fill 11 positions for this academy is pretty incredible, and get 11 folks successfully through. And when you keep hearing the young men and women and you hear a few chuckles, I won't direct that towards anyone in the front row here, Barbara, but there'll be a little bit more on her in just a little bit. At this time, I'd like to ask Deputy Chief Mark Jameson to come forward. He's going to recognize some of our other special guests that are here today.
Thank you, Chief. First, I'll recognize our special guest, and then I have a few words, which is not normally what I do, for our new recruits, because I wasn't able to be with them this morning. So we have some city council members here. I'd like to recognize those. If I'm ducking and looking, it's because I'm blinded by the light. Good song, but it doesn't help when you're up here trying to recognize people in the crowd. So we have a council member, Sterling Wilder is here. Sterling, thank you for being here. And our newest council member, Chris Feraldi, over here to my right, your left. Thank you, Chris, for being here. And again, if there's any other council members here, you can start waving or throwing something at me so I can recognize you as well. There's many others that wanted to be here, and I think the chief has some remarks from the mayor that they could not be here, though. You heard Judge Patrick Yates is here. Again, thank you for being here. And you also heard about Eugene Wingfield. Eugene was, I heard this last night because he received an award, you all know, last night, that he started his law enforcement career in 1974. I was born in 73. So just to let him know that. I told him that last night and I got the same response. He also was a investigator with our Commonwealth Attorney's Office, and then went on to be the clerk of the Circuit Court for 9 years, I think, and recently retired January of this year. So many years in law enforcement in the criminal justice system. So thank you, Eugene, for being here. The city manager, Bonnie Severchek, I wish she was here because I have a nickname I wanted to give her before she retired that our prior chief used, but she's not here, along with Deputy City Manager Reed Wotica and Assistant City Manager John Hughes. They could not be here. They pass along their apologies for not being here and want to express their congratulations to all of you as well for a job well done. We want to thank Parks and Rec for the use of this facility. Again, like the chief said, we're normally in City Hall, but this provided a different venue that we were able to do this. So thank you to Jenny Jones, the director, and Parks and Rec for providing us this location. You know, I'm not normally one to stand up here and give you some advice, because I meet with you again coming up, talking about emotional survival. Chaplain Whitaker will be there, which is really important to your success in your career. But this is the challenging times that you all are facing in law enforcement. And I want to thank you and commend each one of you for still being here today. Because you had every opportunity in the middle of a pandemic, when your academy was canceled, to walk away. You had every opportunity, with everything that's going on around the country and the negative connotations surrounding law enforcement, to walk away. And you know what you did? You said, no, not me. I'm here, and this is what I'm going to do. So thank you from the bottom of my heart, the Lynchburg Police Department, this city, and the community for still being here today. We commend you for that. Just some words of advice. I read a book this morning, surprisingly. I listened to a book this morning. If anybody's read The Coffee Bean, I'm not sure if you have, but it's some good advice. 3 things about the coffee bean. You can either be a carrot, an egg, or a coffee bean. When you boil a carrot in water, what happens? It becomes weak and softened. The environment, the boiling water, makes it weak. Don't let that happen to you. The egg, what happens when you boil it? It becomes hard. It will harden your environment. Things around you can happen, adversity that you face. Don't become hard. What you want to do is become the coffee bean. When you put coffee beans in hot water and boil it, what happens? It becomes coffee. What did the coffee bean do? It transformed its environment. Take that with you and always be the coffee bean. Don't let the environment harden you, weaken you. You take control and you transform that environment. Congratulations again. Look forward to a long career with you all. Appreciate it. Thank you.
So this is the really fun part. So at this time, I'm going to ask the Honorable F. Patrick Yates, Chief Judge of the Lynchburg Circuit Court, to come forward and administer the oath of office to our new officers. So for family members, real quick, I know everybody wants good pictures, right? They're going to do something similar to this, taking an oath of honor. at the end, and for that, we will actually have them up on the stage facing you. So don't feel like you got to run and knock anybody over to get a good picture. You'll have plenty of opportunity at the end. So Judge Yates.
Well, before I have you stand to take the oath, I will say, as the mayor said, this is a day to remember, but it's a year to forget. So, and I would say this, Eugene Wingfield, who's great friends with Todd Swisher, handed off the clerk's office right before the coronavirus hit. So I don't know if they're still friends or not, but he has served not only with the police department with distinction, but in the clerk's office with distinction. And that place is running like a fine oiled machine as it could under such trying times. But I do want to say it's a testament to your character for each and every one of you that signs up to be a police officer and being willing to protect and serve under such trying times. So I do want to commend, on behalf as a citizen of the city of Lynchburg, I want to commend each of you for your willingness to serve and protect. And I do want to commend each of you for doing it during such a trying time. You are with some of the finest individuals that live in our community, that work in our community. I know all of these gentlemen and all the ladies with the police department, because I've been a judge for a decade plus, so I've gotten to know these fine individuals, and you couldn't be with a finer department, I will tell you that. These people protect and serve and put their lives on the line for all of us, and they'll do it for each of you as their fellow officers over time. So once again, I want to congratulate each of you as I did this morning. And at this time, I'm going to have all of you stand, and we'll take the oath collectively, and I'm going to have you raise your right hand and repeat after me. I do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Virginia, and that I will faithfully and impartially discharge and perform all the duties incumbent on me as a police officer with the City of Lynchburg, Virginia, according to the best of my ability. So help me God. Congratulations.
Thank you, Judge Yates. We appreciate you being here and being a longtime supporter of the LPD. So it's a Lynchburg Police Department tradition to formally present our newly sworn officers with their sidearm and badge. As a part of this ceremony, we have members of the community come forward to pin on officers' badges for the first time. This badge is a symbol of the trust that this community has extended to each and every one of you. There's also a legacy of 215 years of law enforcement service that has been worn by those who came before you and is now being passed down to you. Never betray the trust that has been given to you by this community or by those who have worn this badge before you. The men and women who wore these badges are part of the history of this department, and you are now continuing that very important work. With today's ceremony, we are continuing a new tradition that will recognize an officer who previously wore your badge. We'll give more information as we call each of the individual officers up to receive their badge. So at this time, I'd ask Deputy Chief Ken Edwards to join me up here, and we'll do this one at a time, so there will be photo opportunities. We could have Brianna Ashley, please. She'll be joined by her father, Roy Ashley, if you could come forward as well. You come right over on this side, sir. All right, so we're going to talk a little bit about each badge, and then Captain Clements and Captain Black will give a biography of the officer. So this is badge number 103. Badge number 103 was previously worn by current LPD Sergeant Mike Smith. He began his law enforcement career here in 1991. He served as a tactical officer over the years. He served on our narcotics strike force as well. And with this badge, he passes along to you the trait of consistency.
Brianna was born in Lynchburg, Virginia, and raised in Amherst County, Virginia. She took part in the early college program at Central Virginia Community College, where she completed her associate's degree in general studies, while also completing high school. After she graduated CVCC, she attended Liberty University, where she studied criminal justice with a specialization in crime scene investigation. Brianna is involved in church at Thomas Road Baptist. When she's off, she enjoys riding motorcycles, being outdoors, and spending quality time with her family. She has volunteered with individuals with multiple disabilities and mental illnesses for the past 6 years. Brianna's father, Roy, pinned on her badge, and I present to you Officer Brianna Ashley.
Hey everybody, how are y'all doing? Good. All right, well, I just want to give all the glory to God. Without him, I'm nothing, and this wouldn't have been possible. I want to thank all my family and friends for all the love and support that they've given me. I want to thank the recruiting staff and the command staff for selecting me to be part of such an amazing department. It's such an honor to be able to protect and serve the community of Lynchburg. Thank you all for coming.
Cecily Baker. Cecily will be joined, I apologize, see, I told you we'd mess it up. I say we, me. Cecily will be joined by her mother, Janet Clark. So the badge that Cecily will be receiving was previously worn by Officer Mike Robinson. Although Mike Robinson was only with the LPD for 2 years, he spent a long career in the Amherst County Sheriff's Office, just finishing his career with us. He served here as a patrol officer, and during his short time here, he mentored dozens of officers, filled in as a supervisor. And the trait that I want to pass with this badge to you, Cecily, is his ability to stay level-headed no matter what the situation is.
Cecily was born in Lynchburg, Virginia, and was raised in Phoenix, Virginia. She received her associate's degree in specialization of criminal justice and general studies at Southwest Virginia Community College in 2016. During her attendance at community college, she played on the women's basketball team and then went on to Longwood University to graduate with a Bachelor of Science degree in criminal justice in 2018. While attending Longwood University, she played on the women's club basketball, in which she enjoyed dearly. Prior to being hired at LPD, she was the reentry specialist counselor at Rustburg Correctional Facility for a residential substance abuse treatment program that provided different services for offenders that were preparing to return into society. Cecily enjoys playing basketball and cornhole, as well as spending time with her family and friends during her free time. And Ms. Janet, her mother, just pinned her badge on. I present to you Officer Cecily Baker.
So as we're working through this, if you're comfortable and would like a photo without your mask on, we do that, and we will bring you back up after we're done if we need to do that, okay? So I apologize. We're learning the COVID thing as we go, okay?
I'm not much of a speaker, but I want to thank God, because without him, none of this would be possible. Thank the command staff and recruiting staff for selecting me, and thank you to my family and friends for supporting me. Thank y'all.
All right, Michael Donnelly. Be joined by his fiancee, Maggie McIntyre. Michael will be receiving badge number 192. This badge was previously worn by Officer T.P. Jamerson, who served at the LPD from 1977 to 1994. He worked in CID, our Criminal Investigations Division, and Patrol, and came to us actually from the Virginia State Police. And the trait I'd like to pass along to you with this badge is his ability to be friendly with everyone he met.
Michael was born and raised in Maryland. He attended the University of Maryland, which he graduated in 2018 with a dual degree in American history and criminology. During his free time, he enjoys hiking, home brewing, and reading. He's set to get married this September, and his fiancée is currently just finished pinning on his badge. So I present Officer Michael Donnellan.
First, I just want to thank everybody for being here. Also, thank you to the chief, all of the command staff, Sergeant Smith, Officer Cottrell, all of PNR. Honestly, without you guys, we wouldn't be here. And also, thank you to my family and my lovely fiance. I appreciate all the support, and I look forward to working with the city of Lynchburg. Thank you.
Next up is Barbara Gibson. She'll be joined by her son, Joshua. So Barbara will be receiving badge 246. And I'll let you know, won't tell you who wore this badge before, but we'll tell you a little bit about the person. This person previously spent about 12 years with the Lynchburg Police Department. Worked in our narcotics strike force. There's some stories to go along with that assignment that I'll let remain nameless because I think they'll be told back on me as well. She worked in our vice unit, in our criminal investigations unit. She instructed a lot. She may be known for being slightly outspoken, but all around just a great, great officer who had a real passion for this job. And I am very, very happy to pass this badge back to the woman who wore it before, which is Barbara Gibson.
I've been told I'm not allowed to tell any stories while they pin the badge on, but I will say in 1995, Barbara and I were sworn in as officers the first time, and I'll leave it at that. So, Barbara originally joined the Lynchburg Police Department in 1995. She worked in the Field Operations Bureau before joining the Uniformed Narcotics Strike Force and then the Vice Narcotics Unit. In 2003, Barbara moved to the Criminal Investigations Unit, and in 2007, Barbara left the LPD to explore other personal interests. She enjoys spending time with her family, Paul and Joshua, on their farm and hopes to find some time to travel in the near future. She was pinned by her son, Joshua, and he was born into the Lynchburg Police Department in November of 2004. I present Officer Barbara Gibson.
I would like to thank the command staff for welcoming me back. And even though I left physically in 2007, I've really never left the Lynchburg Police Department family. And they've welcomed me back with open arms, and I appreciate that. I would like to, of course, thank my family and friends who have been on this crazy ride for many years. I would like to thank Officer Cottrell and Sergeant Smith. Sergeant Smith, both of them handled everything on the fly. I mean, things change daily with the academy. They changed their schedules. They helped us with physical fitness that we might not have appreciated at the time, but it paid off at Officer Survival. So I would like to thank everybody. I'd also like to thank my fellow officers that I went through 95 with. The people that I met in December before we started this academy have grown so much, and the friends and family of them need to be really proud. They're going to be great officers, and I'm proud to work beside them. Thank you.
last class was 40 what, Barbara? Okay, I was just, only 50 academy classes since the last one. That's pretty impressive, honestly. So we're glad to have you back. Heather Harris, and she'll be joined by her husband, Derek Harris. So Heather will be receiving badge number 251. This badge was previously worn by current LPD Sergeant Nicholas Barb. He's been here since 2010. During his time here, he spent time in patrol as a canine officer and in our vice and narcotics unit. He was just promoted last year to sergeant. And one of the things that I admire about Nick and that will carry with this badge, two things really. One, he doesn't jump to conclusions, and two, he doesn't do that because he's a strong listener, which is a trait that every officer needs to have. So wear this badge proudly.
Heather was born in Martinsville, Virginia, and grew up in Henry County. After high school, she attended Greensboro College in Greensboro, North Carolina, where she completed her bachelor's degree in 2011. Moving forward to 2016, Heather began grad school at LU, completing her master's of public health in 2019. Heather resides here in Lynchburg with her husband, Derek. She and Derek met at a gym that they now co-own, Legendary Strength Gym, that opened in June of 2019. She's passionate about health and fitness in her free time, prefers spending time with family and friends. She also thoroughly enjoys baking for others. What? And is a member of Thomas Road Baptist Church. Heather's husband, Derek, just finished pinning on her badge, and I present to you Officer Heather Harris.
Thank y'all. Miss Barbara couldn't have put it any better about our class of 95. We have really seen more than we expected in these last 8.5 months. I guess I'm taking baking requests now. But first and foremost, I want to thank God. He got us here, absolutely. And to the command staff, to the personnel staff, you guys have been with us through much more than we expected. A huge thank you to my husband for all of the support that he has shown me through this, and to all of our family and friends, those who are watching that couldn't be here too. We just thank y'all for supporting us through this journey.
Daniel Hatch will be joined by his mother, Cindy Hatch. Daniel will be receiving a badge previously worn by retired Lynchburg Police Lieutenant Dave Gearhart. Lieutenant Gearhart served here from 1990 through 2019, 29 years of service. During his time here, he spent time on our tactical unit, in our criminal investigations division, and for 2 maybe very joyous years as our public information officer. That's how he describes it to me. But one thing about Dave that I want you to carry with you as a trait from this badge is his ability to always maintain positivity in everything he saw.
Daniel was born and raised in Orlando, Florida, alongside his 3 siblings. He began attending LU in the fall of 2016 and graduated with honors in December of 2019, earning a bachelor's degree in criminal justice with a specialization in strategic intelligence and a minor in history. Aside from stints in baseball and soccer, Daniel spent most of his middle and high school years putting his spare time into his local Boy Scout troop, ultimately earning the rank of Eagle Scout in 2013. After serving in various leadership positions in the troop and participating in numerous service projects, both large and small, throughout the years, that's the point that he realized with his involvement in scouting how much his love for the outdoor was fostered. Prior to joining the LPD, Daniel worked various part-time jobs throughout high school and college. Jobs ranged from dog sitting all the way up to retail, and working as a summer camp counselor. His interest in law enforcement began as a young child and was cemented while participating in college internship with the Orange County Sheriff's Office in Florida. Daniel is active in his church and enjoys hunting, kayaking, primitive camping, and reading in his spare time. His mother, Cindy, just finished pinning on his badge, and I present Officer Daniel Hatch.
Hello. I'm not one for long speeches, so I will keep this short. First of all, I'd just like to thank my Lord and Savior. Without his strength, none of this would be possible. I don't know where I'd be. I'd also like to thank my family. Without their love and support, I never would have made it this far. I'd also like to thank the members of the personnel and recruiting unit and the command staff for giving us this chance and for supporting us during the very long 8 months of the academy. Thank you.
Next, ask Christopher Reed, his father, Nerney Reed, to come forward. Chris will be getting a badge that was previously worn by retired LPD Captain Whit Clark. Captain Clark served here from 1983 to 2015, 32 years of service. And he didn't have enough after that. If that name sounds familiar, retired LPD Captain Whit Clark is now Sheriff Whit Clark in Campbell County. We are very proud of that as a department as well. During his time here at the LPD, over 3 decades, he spent time on our tactical unit. He also had a true passion for wellness and fitness and literally just taking care of other officers. So with this badge, I pass along to you his trait of dedication.
Chris was born in Chester, Pennsylvania, and graduated from Churchland High School in Portsmouth, Virginia. He studied criminal justice and homeland security at Virginia Commonwealth University before moving to Lynchburg in 2018. In his spare time, Chris enjoys spending time with his friends, family, working on cars, keep that in mind, watching football, cooking, and traveling. Christopher's father, Nerney, who is a retired deputy from the city of Portsmouth, assisted in pinning Chris's badge on today. I present Officer Christopher Reed.
Good afternoon. Thank you for everybody for coming out today. Thank you for my family for coming in. I'd like to thank command staff, Sergeant Smith, Officer Cottrell, Lieutenant Gillespie. They dealt with a lot the last 8 months. I also like to thank my classmates. It's been an honor, and I love each and every one of you. Thank you for, helping me get through these last 8 months. Thank you.
What I didn't mention earlier when Cecily was up here and Chris reminded me, last night we had our graduation at the Police Academy and they give out 7 individual awards to officers for different categories. And Cecily brought home 1 and Chris brought home 2. So we took 3 of the 7 awards out of an academy that serves about 50 different agencies. So I'm very proud of that. Congratulations to you guys as well. Next, we have Nicholas Rubel and his wife, Emily Rubel. So Nicholas will be receiving badge number 104. This badge was previously worn by retired Deputy Chief Jerry Stokes, who worked here from 1984 to 2016. Again, 32 years of service behind this badge. Retired Deputy Chief Stokes is now Chief of Police in Salisbury, North Carolina, where he's been for about the last 4 years. During his time at the LPD, he spent in many different areas. One of the things that Jerry did very well was he kind of forced himself into positions that maybe weren't always something he really wanted to be in order to grow and develop and diversify himself. He was the one that developed our community policing advisory group that we still have to this day, 5 years later, helps us engage with the community. So with this badge, I pass along to you the trait of forward thinking.
Nicholas was born in Blacksburg, Virginia, and raised in Roanoke, Virginia. Nicholas has a degree in history and a minor in international studies from Liberty University. Nicholas's wife, Emily, who is pinning his badge on as we speak, is a dispatcher for the City of Lynchburg Department of Emergency Services. Nicholas has 2 dogs, Benji and Baxter. He enjoys kayaking, playing with his dogs, and going to the gym. I present Officer Nicholas Rubel.
Afternoon. I'd just like to thank my classmates for the support, my family and friends, my wife, the P&R unit, Sergeant Smith, and Officer Cottrell for giving me the chance, and the command staff, again, for giving us the chance to serve the city of Lynchburg. Thank you all for coming today.
So Nicholas, if no one's told you this yet, so now not only can your wife tell you what to do at home, she's going to tell you what to do at work too. So being a telecommunicator, she kind of directs our officers on where to go, so there's no escape, my friend. All right. Next we'd ask Daniel Shelton and his sister Jalissa Shelton to come forward. So Daniel will be receiving badge number 242. This badge, I'm sorry, give me 1 second here. I may have misread one earlier, I apologize. We'll get it straight. This badge was previously worn by John Z. He was an officer here from 1993 to 2018. 25 years of service to the Lynchburg Police Department. During that time, he managed a career in law enforcement and a career in the military. He spent a significant amount of his time in our traffic safety unit and also served overseas on numerous occasions as a part of our military. The trait I will pass along to you with this is his perseverance.
Daniel was born in Greenville, North Carolina, and raised in Fairfield, North Carolina. He attended Mattamuskeet Early College from kindergarten to 12th grade. While in school, he played football. After high school, he attended Lewisburg Junior College in Lewisburg, North Carolina for a year before transferring to Bluefield College in Bluefield, Virginia. While at Bluefield College, he studied criminal justice, and in May of 2019, he graduated with his Bachelor of Science in Criminal Justice. Before being hired at LPD, he worked in retail, and in his spare time, he enjoys fishing and being outside. And Daniel's sister, Jolisa, pinned his badge on today. I present Officer Daniel Shelton.
So I just want to thank the command staff, recruiting, families for being here, and also officers from the department that have helped us through this process, and our class. Thank you.
That's Christopher Shirley and his mother, Elaine Shirley, to come forward. Chris will be receiving badge number 258. This badge was previously worn by Officer Rob Murphy, who served in the department from 2011 to 2019. He spent the majority of his career in patrol. He was one of our stronger training officers and trained dozens of young men and women who were new to our department. In addition to that, he spent time on his own mentoring a lot of our young officers. And one of the things that Rob was very, very keen on was officer safety at all times. So the trait I pass along to you is to be safety-minded at all times.
Christopher was born in Queens, New York, and was raised upstate in Monroe, New York. He received his bachelor's degree in computer science with a concentration in databases from John Jay College of Criminal Justice and graduated with honors on the Dean's List. In 2016, while in college, he became a New York City Police Department police cadet and was ceremoniously promoted to cadet sergeant. Prior to joining the LPD, he spent 3 years as a police officer for the NYPD, serving in West Harlem and Upper Manhattan. For his performance in handling the pickup of a robbery and aiding in the apprehension of a citywide robbery suspect, thus closing an open robbery pattern, he was awarded an Excellent Police Work Commendation. Christopher is here with his parents from New York, who are civil servants as well. In his spare time, he enjoys outdoor activities like hiking, skiing, and running, in addition to attending church and cooking and learning about technology and building things. As mentioned, Chris's mother, Elaine, assisted in pinning on his badge today. I present Officer Christopher Shirley.
I want to thank God for His favor upon my life, my parents who have always driven down to support me, and then this department for being accepting of my New York way of life.
And last but certainly not least, Matthew Statuti and his wife, Ellen Statuti. The badge Matthew will be receiving is 231. This badge was worn by retired Lieutenant Alan Faircloth of Lynchburg Police Department, who served from 1981 to 2005. During his time, he spent time as a bicycle patrol officer, a DARE officer. He worked in our accreditation unit. And if you really want to blast from the past, you can go back to the 90s when we had a local broadcast television show called Hill City Blues. So for those of you who are maybe a little advanced in age in the room, you probably remember Hill Street Blues. That was a sitcom, and we modeled it sort of after that. But one of the things that Alan always was a consummate professional. So the trait I pass along to you is his professionalism.
Matthew was born in Lansdale, Pennsylvania, and raised in Souderton, Pennsylvania. He received his bachelor's degree in legal studies from George Mason University. Upon graduating from George Mason, he commissioned with the Army Reserves as a military police officer. Matthew currently is stationed with the 55th Sustainment Brigade as a brigade protections officer. Prior to joining the LPD, he worked as a jail officer with the Blue Ridge Regional Jail for just over a year. And in his spare time, Matthew enjoys spending time with his wife, Ellen, and his dogs, going hiking and spending time outdoors. As mentioned, Matthew's wife, Ellen, pinned his badge on today, and I present Officer Matthew Statuti.
Good afternoon. I just want to thank the command staff and personnel and recruiting for giving me this opportunity, my class for just helping me get through this academy, and then my family for supporting me. Thank you.
So those are all of our officers. Let's give them all a collective round of applause. Some of you probably never thought this day would come, right? I know the P&R unit never thought it would come either, right? And they love you, they really do, but trying to manage you, and normally you get done, we bring another class in. This one, they've overlapped because of COVID, so it's been a little challenging to say the least, but they've done a great job with it. So the next item on our agenda is the Oath of Honor. In 2000, the International Association of Chiefs of Police developed a law enforcement Oath of Honor as a means of formally communicating and reinforcing the critical importance of right and honorable action within this profession. One of the traditions that we have here at the LPD is that we try and bring back, anytime we can, a retired LPD officer to administer this oath to our new officers. We want to connect that 215-year legacy that I spoke about to you as new officers. So we're going to do a quick shift. I will try, media folks, not to destroy any of your microphones up here, but we're going to move this over here so we can get all the officers up there. And then I will introduce our guest in just a second. So you've heard a little bit about the gentleman who's going to speak next and administer the oath to our officers. But retired Captain Eugene Wingfield has served our community for more than 4 decades. That's right, 4 decades, through his service at the LPD, the Commonwealth Attorney's Office, and as a clerk of the Circuit Court of Lynchburg. He retired as a captain in 2016 from the LPD, then served as an investigator, as you heard, in the Commonwealth Attorney's Office, and then in 2010, spent 9 years as the clerk of Lynchburg Circuit Court, where he oversaw court and jury operations, assisting countless residents and visitors with public records, maintaining law libraries, handling a number of permits and licenses, and on top of all that, a lot of other things. I know he spent a lot of time upgrading technology and space in that office to make sure it was well suited for both the employees that were there as well as the residents that needed to come and access those services. Eugene didn't stop there. Even after he retired, he served on our board of the Lynchburg Police Foundation for several years and continues to be a really great contributor to that organization and helping support the men and women of the Lynchburg Police Department. So at this time, I'd ask Eugene to come forward, say a few words, and then administer our oath of honor.
Retired, you invite old people back. Congratulations to each one of you. It was good to see you last night. That was a pretty nice event, and I commend Ron State and the staff for pulling that off for every single graduation to recognize you folks for the accomplishments you've made. Now, I had to change what I was going to say a little bit today, and of course, Chief Zuma and the rest of the staff knows that it's always dangerous to invite me to come up and speak to these things, because I never do exactly what they ask me to do. And but I've got to change a little bit, because it's not unusual for me to use the word youth when I speak, but Barbara's kind of screwed that up. And I got to tell you a little bit about Barbara. A while back, before I knew that she was coming back from the PD, I ran into her at Walmart one day. And I don't like to comment on what people buy, when I'm sitting there talking to them, but she was buying an awful, excessive amount of multivitamins for people over 50. So, and of course, now I know why. Barbara, welcome back, and we still pick on you. But, and that's okay. Last night at the ceremony down at the Holiday Inn, your guest speaker was Mark Spain. And I listened to him very closely, and I really enjoyed what he had to say. And he used a word toward the end of what he said that stuck with me, and it really means a lot to me, and it should mean a lot to you. When he inserted that word, I hope you listen to him closely. He said, "Be kind." You remember that? That badge you're getting today is your authority to uphold the laws of the Commonwealth of Virginia. It doesn't change who you are as a person. It should never change who you are as a person. It gives you the authority to do your job, which people expect you to do that. But when you incorporate that word kind into it when you're doing your job, it's really hard for people to be upset at you for doing your job, unless it's them you're doing it to. So that's just the nature of the beast, all right? Now, I will also encourage you, there's another topic I always kind of just hit on a little bit when I get up to speak, when I'm allowed to get up to speak, to the new recruits. And this was something that stuck with me throughout my career, and I did it. And if I had any level of success at all as a law enforcement officer, it was based on this. get out of your car. Technology is wonderful. It helps you do your job. It helps you do your job better. It makes you safe, but it will never be a substitution for contact with people. You have got to get out of the police car every single day and make it a point to introduce yourself to someone new, to get out and talk to the people who own the mom and pop grocery stores and anywhere else you want to go. People want to know who you are. I still hear that today. You know, when I was in the clerk's office, people would come in. Unfortunately, they're coming in to pay their fines most of the time. But they would come to me and remember me, and they say, hey, I really do remember how you come out and talk to people, and I wish police officers would do it today. So never be afraid to get out and talk to anybody. I used to use the analogy when I was in high school. I was told no by so many girls was unbelievable. And that's okay. All I needed was one, and she's been married to me now for 44 years. All right? So get out of your car and talk to people. You'll be impressed at how far that'll go in your career. Okay? All right. Now, I was asked to come here today to administer the law enforcement oath of honor, which is really important. This should be your guidepost to your law enforcement career. You should never forget this. And what's not on this piece of paper that everybody in the audience has today, they have the oath of honor. But what they don't have is what was in that program last night that everybody got. And you have it. I hope you've already read it, which is a breakdown of what this oath of honor is. It has all the main words in this oath of honor in there and what it stands for. And you really truly need to read that and remember that, because there's not a better document that describes as to what this stands for. Okay? Now, so if I can get each of you to raise, by the way, Chief, is it okay for them to take their mask off? I know these people would like to take a picture of them while they're doing this. Go ahead and take your mask off. Get each of you to raise your right hand and repeat after me. On my honor, I will never betray my badge, my integrity, my character, or the public trust. I will always have the courage to hold myself and others accountable for our actions. I will always uphold the Constitution, the community, and the agency I serve. So help me God. Congratulations.
So as we wrap up here, we appreciate your patience and sticking with us for this very, very important ceremony. And what a great sight to see 11 of them up here in front of you, right? I hope you all get a lot of good pictures, and if not, we can get them up here afterwards. All members of the LPD are part of the fabric of this city, and these 11 new officers are no exception. Joining the LPD today are a mental health worker, a college athlete, a home brewer, a business owner, a baker, an Eagle Scout, a home mechanic, a kayaker, a fisherman, a former NYPD officer, and a military police officer. They are mothers, brothers, sisters, daughters, and sons. They are members of this community. They are you. To our new officers, each day in this honorable profession brings new challenges and also new rewards. This work is truly a calling. If you're getting in this job to get rich, you're in the wrong line of work. You will get rich, but it won't be in a paycheck. I know you will serve the residents of this city with dedication, respect, and compassion. The past several months have prepared you for your new roles. You are well trained, well equipped, and you have 200 members of the LPD family and the overwhelming majority of this community looking out for you. One of those community members you heard Deputy Chief Jamison mention earlier, our Mayor, Mary Jane Dolan. she had asked me to just share with you, first, her congratulations, and secondly, how much she appreciates each and every one of you stepping up to dedicate your lives to serving and protecting the citizens of this great city, Lynchburg. The learning process never stops. It is imperative for you to ask for help when you need it and listen to the advice of your fellow officers and the expertise of our community partners. They have real-world experience that will help guide you as you transition into your new roles. Remain positive. It sounds really simple, but it can be hard to do in this line of work. You will see things that other human beings should not see, but you need to maintain your composure and you need to be positive at all times. You can be the light in someone's worst day if you treat them with respect. Every day when you end your shift, remember the good. I promise you there will be something good every day you end your shift. You have many roles and responsibilities at the PD. However, my first and most important expectation of you is that you go home safely. You go home safely. We want your family to be able to hug and kiss you when you get home every night. Be professional. Be proud to wear this uniform and badge. I know I am and have been for a long time. To our new officers' families, and there's a lot of you here, and we appreciate that. You are now part of our family, the LPD family. We are here to support you just like we are here to support your sons, daughters, brothers, sisters. At this time, I'd ask all family members of these 11 new officers to stand and be recognized. Thank you. I told our officers just this morning that although some people may think the hardest job in America is being a police officer right now, I will tell you the hardest job in America is being the spouse or family member of a police officer. You will make sacrifices, I promise you, that will enable your family members to do their jobs successfully. And to that, we really do appreciate, and we are eternally grateful for that. In closing, I want to congratulate all of our 11 officers again. Remember, you are here to serve this community. You are their partners, and you are their protectors. Please, as you are out there, please be safe. At this time, I'd like to ask Chaplain Whitaker to come forward for our benediction.
The best part of the ceremony for me is to be able to take this thing off. As the chief read the names of all of the officers that have worn your badges, I've been fortunate enough to have been their chaplain. I am fortunate to be your chaplain for a second time even. We're glad you're back. I have some remarks that I'm going to use to close with. Can you believe it? The 11 of you today has actually arrived, and you have been sworn in as Lynchburg police officers. I congratulate you on your achievements up to this point. Rightfully so, you should be very proud of yourselves. I know that your family and friends in attendance here today are bursting at the seams with pride and admiration. At each swearing-in ceremony, I share the same remarks. Even though some who are here today have already heard them, you have not. And as one of your chaplains, I feel that they are important for you as you step into your new role. As a sworn law enforcement officer, your main role will be to maintain and keep the peace within our community. You are given certain powers by law and by the citizens who live here to carry out that responsibility. You, by virtue of your job, can be called peacemakers. The Bible says in Matthew, "Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called sons of God." That's an awesome thought. This is an honorable profession that you have chosen, one that is vitally important to our citizens and highly regarded by God Himself. In the normal routine of your job as law enforcement, you will encounter individuals who are having a bad day as a result of a traffic stop, an accident, being the victim of a crime, having received the worst news of their lives, or by being accused of or charged with a crime. You will witness all sorts of reactions and responses from these citizens, and some of them will not be pleasant. But you are expected to maintain your professionalism in all situations. You can keep your cool in very tense circumstances. I know that it is possible because I have witnessed it in action day after day by the officers of this department. The way you respond to and treat everyone you encounter on the job and in the community will have a profound impact on that person. You as a peacemaker can bring hope to a hopeless situation, calm when there's turmoil, show compassion to someone who is desperate, be kind to an accused, show love to a hurting family, be patient when everyone else is not, and bring joy to a child who looks up to you. By doing all of this, you will be guilty of helping to create a safer environment for us all, and there will be lots of evidence to prove it. As your chaplains, we make ourselves available to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If you ever need someone to talk to after a difficult call, to assist with a death notification, or to help with a personal problem of any sort, just give one of us a call. What you share with us will be kept in strict confidence. One last thing I want to share, and the chief has already shared this. The most important thing you have to do every day is not to see how many arrests you can make or how many tickets you can write. No, the most important thing for you to do every day is to go home safely to your family at the end of your shift. I'd like to pray for you now. Again, Father, we come to you. We give you the glory and the honor for all that's taken place here today. Again, thanking you for these new officers. They have a bright future in front of them. They will have experiences that they've never had before in their life. I ask that you prepare them for each day as they put on the uniform and they pin on the badge and they put the belt on with all the equipment that they carry, including their sidearm, that you would make them ready to go into this community and serve you well as they serve this community. I pray that they would remember that they are never alone. Even when they're sitting in a car and they're driving around the city, or they're at a stop and they're writing a ticket, whatever the situation may be, they're never alone because you, oh God, are always with them. Bring peace to their family members, as they see them walk out the door each day at the beginning of their shift. And as it's already been said, I pray that every single one of these men and women would go home every day throughout their whole career safely to their families at the end of their shifts. We ask it all in your precious name. Amen.
Thank you, Chaplain Whitaker. A couple orders of housekeeping just real quick. When this ceremony is done, which will be in just a couple seconds, we do have a reception downstairs. It's pretty much right underneath where we're at here. Because of some space issues and COVID restrictions, obviously, we'll have somebody kind of directing traffic at the door, letting just a certain number in. We'll also have some refreshments outside, is my understanding, too. I don't believe it's raining, so that's good. But just respect that and try to keep as socially distanced as you can, and we'll try and shuttle people in and out of there as quickly as we can so everybody has an opportunity to enjoy that. I got to tell you, as a police chief, probably the most important thing I do as a police chief is who I hire. Without a doubt. because that sets us up for success as a police department for years and years and years to come. And I couldn't be more proud of the group that we have in front of us here. A very diverse group of different backgrounds, as you heard from their bios, different ages, different life experiences, and I know every one of them is going to serve our community in a different way, but all of them are going to serve it in a way that makes us a great, great department and a great place to live, which is what Lynchburg is. So as we close, I'd just like to recognize, you've heard these folks recognized already, but from me to all of you, Sergeant Smith, Officer Cottrell, Lieutenant Gillespie, and Ms. Tammy Blanchette. She's our professional staff that works in the office and quite honestly keeps these three guys in line most of the day. And she does a lot of stuff with our training and recruiting of folks. I'd also like to thank other LPD employees who've been involved in either coordinating this event or with the reception downstairs or both. Tammy Blanchette again, Vicki West, I believe Teresa Reynolds, Cindy Cosrow, Carrie Dungan, sorry. And all these things don't happen, as we know, and this is a new event space, like I said, and trying to get everybody in here and figure out how we do that was a lot of work. So thank you all for putting that together. As a reminder, this event has been streamed on Facebook, so you're welcome to go back and watch it over and over again if you want to, or make funny comments about your family members or whatever you want to do with it. But we appreciate everyone being here. Thank you again. Welcome to the LPD family, and congratulations to each and every one of our officers. That concludes our ceremony. Thank you.